Okay, guys, here's the next chapter, the practice. Matilda found the house empty as usual. Her father was not yet back from work, her mother was not yet back from bingo, and her brother might be anywhere. She went straight into the living room and opened the drawer of the sideboard where she knew her father kept a box of cigars. She took one out and carried it up to her bedroom and shut herself in. Now for practice, she told herself. I'm going to be tough, but I'm determined to do it. Her plan for helping Miss Honey was beginning to form beautifully in her mind. She had it now in almost every detail, but in the end, it all depended upon her being able to do one very special thing with her eye power. She knew she wouldn't manage it right away, but she felt fairly confident that with a great deal of practice and effort, she would succeed in the end. The cigar was essential. It was perhaps a bit thicker than she would have liked, but the weight was about right. It would be fine for practicing with. There was a small dressing table in Matilda's bedroom with a hairbrush and a comb on it and two library books. She cleared these things to one side and laid a cigar down in the middle of the dressing table. Then she walked away and sat on the end of the bed. She was now about 10 feet from the cigar. She settled herself and began to concentrate, and very quickly this time she held the elasticity beginning to flow inside her head, gathering itself behind her eyes, and the eyes became hot, and millions of tiny invisible hands began pushing out like spikes towards the cigar. Move, she whispered, and to her intense surprise, almost at once, the cigar with a little red and gold paper band around the middle rolled away across the top of the dressing table and fell on the carpet. So this is the picture of Matilda in her room practicing with the cigar. Matilda had enjoyed that. It was a lovely doing it. It felt as though sparks were going around and round inside her head, flashing out of her eyes. It had given her the sense of power that was almost earthly. And how quick it had been this time. How simple. She crossed the bedroom, picked up the cigar, and put it back on the table. Now, for her difficult one, she thought, but if I have the power to push, then surely I also have the power to lift. It is virtual. I learn how to lift it. I must learn how to lift it right up in the air and keep it there. It was not a very heavy thing, a cigar, but she sat at the end of the bed, stared at it again. It was easy now to summon up the power behind her eyes like a pushing and trigger in the brain. Lift, she whispered. Lift, lift. At first, the cigar started to roll away. But then, with Matilda concentrating fiercely, one end of it slowly lifted up about an inch off the table. With colossal effort, she managed to hold it there in about 10 seconds, then it fell back again. Phew, she gasped. It's getting it. I'm starting to do it. For the next hour, Matilda kept practicing, and in the end, she had managed by sheer power of her eye to lift a whole cigar clear off the table, about 6 inches into the air, to hold it there about a minute. Then suddenly, she was so exhausted she fell back on the bed and went to sleep. That was how her mother found her later in the evening. So here's some pictures of Matilda practicing. What's the matter with you? The mother said, waking her up. Are you ill? Oh gosh, Matilda said, sitting up looking around. No, I'm all right. I was just a bit tired, that's all. From then on, every day after school, Matilda shut herself in her room practicing with the cigar. Soon it all began to come together in the most wonderful way. 6 days later, by the following Wednesday evening, she was able to not only lift the cigar up into the air, but also move it around exactly as she wished. It was beautiful. I can do it, she cried. I can really do it. I can pick up the cigar just with my eye power and push it and pull it in the air any way I want. All she had to do now was put it in her great plan into action. So there's a picture of Matilda in bed. So tomorrow I will read the third miracle. All right. I love you all. I hope you're all being safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah!